Hello boys and girls, this video is 7 things I wish I had known before beginning a relationship with a narcissist. All of these have been sourced through responses I got on Instagram, so none of these are mine. They're all from my followers who are telling me these are the things they wish they had known. Number 1, people who love you don't want to hurt you. People who hurt you don't love you. One of the big things that happens that lets people slow step into a narcissistically abusive relationship is this confusion between love and hurtful behavior, and where the two can be caused to have the boundaries blurred between them. Number 2, I wish I had known that it doesn't matter if they are actually a narcissist. So this problem comes up time and again. I think a lot of people get stuck in dealing with the relationship with an emotionally abusive partner just through being stuck on analysis paralysis of trying to figure out what kind of a narcissist they are, whether they're a psychopath, whether they're actually comorbidly borderline. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Emotional abuse is emotional abuse, and where it's coming from is none of your business. You don't have to stick around for it, and it's as simple as that. Number 3, I wish I had known that narcissists don't actually love. This is key. Our malignant optimism will dissipate when we let go of the toxic hope of winning love from people who are not capable of love. They're not capable of loving you, and they're not capable of loving anybody. Narcissists and the narcissistically inclined do not actually love anyone. They are not capable of it. They will not be capable of it. End of story. Give up hope. Move on with your life. Number 4, I wish I had known that you cannot love them better. Many codependents, people who would identify as being the targets of narcissistic abuse, myself included, report a feeling that there was a sense that maybe if they could just love them enough or love them the right way, that they would get better and the situation would improve and the relationship would improve. That is not a possibility. You cannot love someone better. You cannot love an adult better. You cannot just pour endless amounts of love, time and attention into a black hole and think that there is going to be any useful return on investment of that. They won't improve. They won't heal. The nature of the problem that they have means that that is just impossible. Number 5, I wish I had known that it's more important to work on me than to research their faults and their traumas. One of the interesting things about narcissistic abuse, interesting and unfortunate, interesting if you're not in it and you're studying it and you're just working with people and trying to help them recover, awful if you're in it and you're actually experiencing it, is it keeps your locus of control, meaning your sense of agency, your sense of capacity to do anything, external. So what this means in normal language, non-psychology language, is you have a sense of whether you are in control of your life, which would be an internalized or internal locus of control, or if events, circumstances, and other people are in control of your life, which is an external locus of control. The nature of a narcissistically abusive relationship is that slowly it corrodes that boundary between internal and external, and it starts to move you from experiencing an internal locus of control to an external locus of control, simply because of the impact that they have and the nature of the abusive, boundary-breaking, dictatorial, tyrannical demands that they place upon you. So that keeps one focused on them. What's the narcissist doing? What's the narcissist's favorite pizza topping? What's the latest post on the forum about narcissists and subtypes of narcissists? And it really doesn't matter, because the key that unlocks the door is not about them. What you're doing is you're reflecting your mental conditioning that it's all about them. But your recovery, your escape from them, is not about them. It's about you. So it's more important to work on you than to endlessly get stuck in the cycle. And I think it's a self-soothing cycle for trauma victims, but ultimately a really poisonous one of endlessly researching their faults, their traumas, and trying to analyze where it all went wrong. It doesn't really matter. Time is short, life is short, time is precious, and it's time to move on. Number 6, I wish I had known that it's not love, but trauma bonding that's keeping me in the relationship. So because presumably you're an adult human being who wants to be in a loving relationship, you will talk in terms of love, and you will try to put on the relationship and on that person a framework of, what's the politically correct term now? Neurotypical behavior. You shouldn't say normal, you should say neurotypical behavior, beliefs, map of the world, reality tunnel that they just don't have. It's just not there. So we talk in terms of love, and we talk about the initial phases, the seduction phase and the honeymoon period, and then when it all goes wrong. But when you understand that love is simply not a part of this process at all, it's horrifying and heartbreaking, but it's so much easier to understand. Love, they don't trade in love, they trade in supply, narcissistic supply. So there's no loyalty, there's no love, there's no consideration for the other. There's only, how can I win more supply for myself? You did not really love them. This is one that upsets people. They go, yes, I did. You don't know what I experienced. It's not possible to love something that is artificial. It's not possible to love a mirage. You may think it was love. You may feel that it was a passionate emotion and strong feeling, and everything within you was screaming that it was love, but it wasn't, because you can't love something that's artificial. That's just, it's not possible. What you experienced is trauma bonding and the manipulation of your emotions, and often the provocation of completely artificial emotions that you weren't really feeling. You were sort of being gaslit or provoked into thinking you were feeling these things. And yes, I'm not saying those feelings aren't real to you in the moment. I've lived it. I know exactly what it's like, but they're not, so we say not real, because subjectively they are real, and we don't want to get lost in philosophy, but they're not authentic. They're not authentically inspired, spontaneously occurring emotions, far from it. They're heavily manipulated, not by you. Number 7, I wish I had known that actions speak louder than words. Look at what they do, not at what they say. The narcissist is a good talker, and they'll talk their way into any situation they want to be in and out of any situation they want to be out of. But look at their actions, and particularly look at how they act when they think nobody's watching, or look at how they act when they're not trying to foster their artificial false image to the world. You know, when that mask drops and they're no longer trying to impress anybody, and certainly not you, because you've now become an internalized part of them, that's who they are. You're in love with a mask. You're in love with a mirage. You're holding on to a simulation. It's like an artificial, a cloud of artificially intelligent bees that is creating different images in the air in front of you, like these microbots flying around, and they'll be whatever you want them to be to elicit a reaction from you, but there's nothing and nobody that is authentically there. I've given you an extra one because I felt like it, and I like the number 7. I didn't want to say 8, so here's an extra one. I wish I had known that my childhood experiences caused me to believe that abuse is a part of love. Not everybody who gets caught up in a narcissistically abusive relationship was at the receiving end of abuse in childhood, but many people are. And that abuse may have been overt. It could have been smacking, shaming, humiliating, actual physical abuse, or it could have been covert. It could have involved the coercion of your emotions, being told not to cry, being told not to show pain, being told not to ask for what you want, being trained into being a good little boy or a good little girl, and being completely servile to the needs of others. I got a lot from asking this question. You would say all of this is, rather, it's basic, it's not mind-blowing, but it's a good refresher, it's a good reminder, and I actually really got a lot more from this exercise than I expected to. And I was really happy with the answers I got from people. I thought that they were insightful and profound. I'd like to do more of these because I think it's a really fast way that people who've been around for a couple of years on this subject can hand over information that people can just go through rapidly. It's easy to access. There's no psychiatric language that needs to be learned. So if you could use the hashtag I wish I had known, and I'll do another couple of videos where I collect more of these tips from the black belts to the white belts, shall we say, people who've been around for a while, to people who are just waking up to the fact that they're in a narcissistically abusive relationship, and to hand them on. Please also leave a comment if you have things that you'd like to share with people. Share it in the comment section below. Use the hashtag I wish I had known. It'll make it easier for everybody to find it afterwards. And yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention. And I look forward to speaking to you all again very soon. Cheers.